This is the audio commentary for William Welch, Borderlands speedrun, completed in 99 segments in 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 2 seconds. My forum screen name on the Speed Demos archive is Youkai Dragoon, Youkai Dragoon. And if you want to check out some other great speedruns, go to Speed Demos archive. With me for this commentary, I have my friend Travis. Say hi.
Hey, William, and I wanted to point out that you did the speedrun on Xbox 360.
Right, I did the speedrun on the Xbox 360. So when you occasionally see not perfect aiming, I'm going to blame that on the controller. Right now we're sitting through the intro screen. Unfortunately, this cutscene is not skippable, which makes the first segment really annoying. Because if you want to redo it, you have to sit through this again. I know there are plenty of other games with even more annoying, longer, unskippable cutscenes, but being, 3 minutes was annoying enough, so I'm glad this segment didn't take too many attempts, although I probably should have done it a couple more times, because I lose about a second or two just in reloading errors and whatnot. Anyway, cutscene gets done, then there is a skippable video that I skip, and now I'm going to choose my character, and for a speed run, your pretty much only choice is Brick, and the reason for that is when you get to level 5, you get your specials, and there's a glitch for Brick's special that makes you run about 30% faster, and it's permanent if you do it right. So that pretty much makes all the difference. Lilith makes you run faster and makes you invisible, but it's only a speed boost while you have the special active. And with Bricks, you can outrun skags and whatnot. So the speed boost is worth giving up, being able to be invisible or whatever. So definitely choose Brick for this one. I heard something about how you might not be able to do 2 super Bricks if you're doing a co-op game. So that might influence who you do, who the second character is in a co-op game. You might choose like Roland or something for the ammo regeneration. But anyway, getting off the bus, Claptrap's talking to me. Yay. For those of you that are watching, I am doing this live, and if you type a question into either the SDA forum or the Ustream chat, I can answer any questions you have, if they pertain to the game, I suppose. I'm going to attempt to make this commentary as informative as possible, so you'll get to hear me and Travis jabber on quite a bit. Do I finally get control of the character? Yes! And it only took 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Ooh, here's my first mistake of the run. There it is. Oh, that was terrible. I found out after doing the run that if you walk around to the other side of him, then he'll look at you and you'll be facing the direction that he needs to go anyway, so it won't take the half a second or whatever for him to turn around. The Claptrap, obviously. That part's really annoying. He makes you sit there and use the quote-unquote new U station, but if you save and exit right now, you have to watch the little animation where your HUD appears again. So you can't actually save and exit until you get to Firestone.
So you grabbed that loot pretty slowly. Was that an error?
The 2 crates, the two
cache. Yeah.
2 cache things. Not really. I had to wait for the Claptrap to talk anyway, so it didn't waste any time.
Okay.
And then here, you're waiting for a scripted event for these bandit patrols and cars to do their thing up on the top right over there. So as long as I get back to the claptrap before the gate opens, then I haven't wasted any time. So I go pick up a couple of items to sell and some cash.
Got it.
And back to the gate in time. And here's the first, I guess, important thing that I'm gonna do is if you kill, I think it's 7 enemies within 7 seconds of each other, then you get I think it's relentless, which is a challenge, and there are various things you can do in the game. They're called challenges that give you experience points. So there it is. I got relentless, which got me to level 2 earlier than normal. So that was the primary, I guess, thing of import in this segment was I had to get relentless, and then just not screw up the rest of the segment for it to be a keeper.
7 seconds within each, or between each kill, not 7 seconds.
Total,
to
right,
kill
yeah.
them all. Okay.
Yeah, you kill an enemy, and then if you kill the next one within 7 seconds, your chain continues. And there's a whole like slew of them. There's, I think it's 7, 10, 15, and 25 or something like that. And I'll get a couple of the other ones later. And then on these guys here, I'm kind of stopping for just a half a second when I shoot them because I need to do the aim. When you look down the barrel of a shotgun in particular, any weapon really, it reduces the spread, but especially on the shotguns, if you do the aim thing, it really brings the pellet spread in, which causes more of the pellets to hit the enemies, and then it gives me a better chance of one-shotting them.
Are there critical challenges? Challenges for getting X number of criticals?
Like headshots, killing them? Yeah. I don't go for any of them, but they exist. I might get a couple of them accidentally. I found out also someone's doing a 100% run, and apparently right here you can save and exit, and you'll end up in Firestone, and you don't have to wait for this little bit here for the button to activate. So if you save and exit as soon as you accept that mission, then when you reload, the button will already be active.
Okay.
So I wasted like 10 seconds there because I didn't know about that.
What's a 100% run?
100% run is all of the optional quests. So the entire story and all of the optional quests. For this one, I'm doing an any percent segmented run. So I'm only required to do the missions I need to do to progress in the story. I do end up doing a couple optional ones because I need the experience. Because their experience to time consumed ratio is really good. But I'm not required to do anything except a story mission for this run. So, let's see, these guys, I kill them as they jump over the fence, and then when I move up here, I kind of line these guys up behind each other in case one of them shifts, I can still hit the other, but they both played nice. And then, I guess if you're going to actually follow like the way it's supposed to go, you're supposed to check the claptrap, and then come over and get this crate, or this toolkit. But you don't have to check the claptrap, so I just pick up the toolkit and run over to him. And then the story mission I'm on is to kill 5 skags out of this den over there. Normally you'd have to wait for the claptrap to open up the gate so that you can go get them, but you can start shooting them through the gate to save a little time. Although this gate is a pain in the butt, it ate 2 of my shotgun blasts, which is annoying, but This is still the fastest segment I got. If I was doing it on a PC, I wouldn't have kept a segment where I didn't kill at least 2 of the skags at the den. Because 3 of them will come out at a time. So if you kill 2 of them really early at the entrance to the den, then the other 3 will come right up to the gate, and it'll save you a few seconds.
Now, after you killed that last skag, you left a lot of cash there. Do you not get cash strapped?
No, and the amount of cash that I left on the ground there when I ended my segment was nothing compared to how much cash I'll need for stuff later in the game, so it's just not worth taking the time to pick up. As long as we're here... Oh, yeah, so I'm doing story missions here. Sell all the stuff I have, buy a cheap shield. I'd like to thank Luke Gervats and BMank on the Speed Demos Archive forum. They basically figured out this entire route already. They previously both were working on a speed run, and each of them ended up stopping for their own reasons. So I picked up the run and used pretty much their entire route plan with a couple really minor adjustments. So I'm going for the next kill challenge when I do this mission to kill the bandits, and it's 10 kills. So what I'm doing is I kill those 2 skags to start my chain, and then I just have to finish out the 8 bandits within 7 seconds of each other, and that'll give me my 10 and finish the mission, and then I can just end my segment. So that's why I killed those 2 random skags back there. And then actually in a while I'm going to do the car orbit achieved, but you can actually do that as early as about now. Basically, as soon as the gate is opened, you can do orbit achieved.
What's orbit achieved?
The car jumping one. So when you get the car, there's a series of challenges for being in the air for, I think it's 5, 6, 7, and 8 seconds or something like that. So basically jumping off really high places in the car. And I could potentially do it now, but the experience that you get this early in the game is just so easy, and the guys die so quick. I'd have to go out of my way to get it, and it's just not necessary this early. Oh, right before I entered this little scene here, I jumped. There's something weird about the game when it pauses, quote unquote, for those scenes. It doesn't actually pause the game. It basically stops all the AI and prevents controller inputs. So any physics that happen to be going on stay active when you enter those scenes. So what I did was I jumped right before it triggered, and then as the scene was going on, I finished my jumping arc, because that is just part of standard physics, the game physics, and it doesn't require any input on my part. So I ended the cutscene, and I was a few steps closer to him, which saved maybe half a second. Yeah, it also works. You'll see later when I'm in Crom's Canyon. I enter the scene for showing Crom for the first time, and my shield regenerates while I'm in the scene. So it's obviously not actually pausing the game, it's just preventing any sort of, inputs. So yeah, I ended my segment out there because it saved me having to run back to town here. Because you always start at the new use stations in Borderlands. There's like basically a new use station in every area. In a couple, there's a 2 of them. But anyway, anytime you exit, you start back at the new use station, and in this area, it's Firestone. So since I needed to be in Firestone anyway, I ended my segment out here, which saved me this run. Let's see. So now I'm off to kill 9 toes. I forget what the story reason is, but I mean, he's a bad guy, so I'm gonna go murder him. Oh, did you know if you play this game sometime and take a fire weapon and or no, it's not 9 toes. It's Sledge. Have you ever shot Sledge with a fire gun? If you take his shield down and you shoot him with a fire weapon, then he lights on fire, right?
Okay.
And then he'll say, "The burn lets you know it's working." That's awesome. You should try it sometime. It's pretty funny. Like if you keep the clipper, if you happen to have a fire SMG or something, after you take his shield down, you can light him on fire, and it's pretty funny.
Nice.
Let's see. So I'm going to trigger the stash here because I have to do it, but I'm not going to bother picking up the guns because I don't need any of them, and they're not worth enough to worry about picking up to sell. I kill these guys because they'll follow you into the area if you don't. And actually, those 2 skags that were there follow me, but I get lucky and take them out with a grenade. So, right up here I toss a grenade, and I get actually really lucky. That skag there jumps right into it. And it takes out like 3 of the bandits. And then right here I make a mistake. I should have spent my skill point right there. But I forgot. And if I'd spent my skill point, then that would have activated his special, which is he puts his gun away and he starts, you can punch with your fists. But I didn't do it, so I tossed a couple grenades here to get him down, and then I shoot him once or twice, and my shields are down, so I try and activate my special right there, but it doesn't, and it took me 2 swings to figure out what the heck happened. So he knocks me down, and I just polished him off with that. I tried to beat that segment, where I actually spent my skill point, and that grenade toss was just so lucky I couldn't beat the time. Right here you're seeing me do this super brick speed glitch, which all you do is, if you've got his special, you activate the special, and then anytime while it's active, you press start, and then, you press the menu button to bring up the in-game menu. Back, yeah, on the 360. And then you exit out of it, and when you exit out, it cancels the special, but it leaves the speed boost you get active. When Brick's special is active, you run 30% faster, but you can't sprint. But if you do the Super Brick, then it keeps the 30% speed boost active for your normal movement, but then you can also sprint, and that is also 30% faster than normal, which is what makes Brick the obvious choice for a speedrun. So you'll see at the beginning of every segment from now until the end of the game, I'll do the speed glitch. And you'll get to hear him go, "Rawr." Anyway, so now I'm on Bonehead, which, when you do Bonehead, you get the car. But this gate here, you can jump over, even though you're not supposed to be able to. So I stop because for some reason if I jump on the run, I don't hit the little ledge I need to clip on the gate. So I stop right in front of it because it seems to work better that way. And then you just jump up and there's like just a tiny little ledge you can sit on. And this, so you saw me change the color of the car there. I used about half a second to change the car color, which I think some of the verifiers are probably gonna comment on. I think it was worth it to not have to drive a puke brown car around the whole time, but you know, it's their job, so I'm sure someone's going to comment on it. Anyway, this is getting orbit achieved. So what you have to do is you have to park the car at this angle so all 4 wheels are off the ground. And then sit in it for long enough for the challenge to be completed. And then you get out of it, and if you melee the car and press the jump in button quick enough, you can get in while it's flipping, and then when the car lands, you get, in this case, if you get a higher challenge than the one that you're on, you'll get the highest one that you achieved and all the ones beneath it. So I got all of the car jumping achievements all in a row right there, which got me a lot of experience.
How many levels? Was that 1 or 2 levels?
I think it was about a full level. I don't remember off the top of my head. But right there, I shoot him with the rocket a couple of times because I know they're going to kind of go past him and the explosion will push Bonehead forward so that I can run over him easier. And then I get the little Digistruct there, which I need to activate the car one I'm supposed to get. Somehow I make it out of this area alive, which I still don't know how I did it. And I shoot this guy thinking that he might kill me from behind, but I don't end up killing him, so I still get lucky and make it. And then, oh, I should have run him over just for good measure. Oh well. Anywho, now I jump over to the goalie for reals. And then activate the switch. I could have ended this segment basically the second I picked up the Digistruct module, and then run from Firestone to the car and done this. But it's pretty hard to screw up after that point. So and it wouldn't have really saved me any time. So I went ahead and just did them both in the same segment. And then right here I luck manipulated that grenade mod out of the machine. Which basically just means that I started the segment and ran to the machine to see if it had the one that I wanted. I needed either a longbow or an explosive bouncing Betty. And if it didn't have the one I wanted, then I just restarted the segment until I got it. There's going to be a couple of cases of luck manipulation in a segmented Borderlands run because all of the weapons are randomly generated from available parts. So, like, each gun has, like, a stock, a magazine, a scope, and a barrel, or something like that. And there's, like, 5 or 6 at each level that can be used to make a gun, and so when a gun gets dropped in the game, or you find it in the chest, it generates it randomly from the parts that are available at your level. So for a speed run, especially a segmented one, you want the best weapon possible, so you have to kind of manipulate a good randomization draw out of it. So these things that I'm getting here, I'm doing, what the heck is the name of this quest? Journals. Tannis is a pretty funny character. I highly recommend that you do all the journal quests if you are playing the game, because listening to the journals is pretty funny. But anyway, I do this one for the experience. But I probably shouldn't have. It takes a little bit of time, and it might be a little faster to just get, like, I think I don't get one of the chain killer challenges. So, and it would have been faster to get that than it would have been to find these journals. So, I didn't know it at the time, but that was kind of a mistake I made in this run. So anyway, I kill those guys for starting the roadkill challenge, which actually I also realized that was kind of a mistake too, because you can actually run over the racks. In a little bit here, I'm gonna rocket a bunch of racks to kill them for another mission that I'm doing. But when the swarm gets close enough to you, if you drive forward in the car, you'll actually run them over.
Get both of those missions at once.
Yeah, so you'll get the rat killing mission and the roadkill one at the same time. So yeah, I lock onto them as soon as they start coming out of the rat hive here.
Yeah, when I played through this, I knew I had to get to a rat hive, and so I saw this. I was like, "Yeah, there's a rat coming out. It's got to be the rat hive." And I sat there waiting for it to pop up so I could kill it.
Because you thought I was the one that you fight at the end of the game, like most of the way through the game.
Right.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize until I think I was well done with my second playthrough of the first character that I made. I never realized that those were actually rat hives. I thought they were just like nests or something that the rats had built. But yeah, they're actually buried rat hives. I don't know why these rat hives sleep for so damn long that they end up buried, but right here I'm going to shoot that thing because I need to get up on the roof for one of the journals. And while you're up there, the other bandits have a nasty habit of shooting that while you're up there and either killing you or knocking you off of the roof. So I destroyed that just so that wouldn't happen. And then I get the thing that tells me that the key's not here anymore. And then jump up on the roof. And then once I get this, I save and exit, and I'm going to turn in the quest that I've just done, and then it's on to crab leveling. I don't know why the last recording I picked up decided to start now. I guess probably just because it wasn't finished when I ended the last segment.
Okay.
His chair was always more comfortable than mine. I took his chair. Anyway. Oh. I don't know. Do you care to explain what crab leveling is?
Well, alright, sure. Crab leveling. And fill in all the blanks for me, William.
Sure, go ahead.
Let's see, so coming to crab leveling to increase my level, to be at an appropriate level to get to the next bad guy, essentially.
Yeah, I need to be... basically, the crabs at this point in the game are the quickest experience you can get. Because if you're at level 10, you can kill them with a grenade. So... I waste a little bit of time here just because I want to end the segment, but you have to have played at least 30 seconds before to let you save when you exit the game. Anyway, yeah, you can't, because of the way the experience works in this game, and I'll explain that later when we're watching me kill Skegzilla too many times. Because of the way the experience works in this game, you can't just play straight through it. You have to level. So, and this is the first place that I really need to do it. And also, there are some chests here, so I'm going to luck manipulate some weapons out of the chests. So these first couple of segments I'm doing just to get to 12 because if I run in farther before then, I'll just die too quickly, so it's safer to just kill a few of these guys and get to 12 and then go further into the cave for the chests that I need.
You mentioned earlier that you were luck manipulating a particular grenade, right? Was that for this segment?
Yeah, actually I luck manipulated, so I said I need a longbow or an explosive bouncing Betty. I think at the beginning of the segment where I turn in the quests, I do a second luck manipulation of the other one. The Bouncing Betty are what I'm using now, because they're good for killing these crabs. Because what the Bouncing Betties do is, wherever your grenade lands, it bounces up and then it shoots out like 5 or 6 more, and each one of those is the standard grenade blast and can kill an enemy. So, so I use those for this segment, and then the reason I get the longbow is because I use those later for grenade jumps. And you want... The grenades damage you, so you want a low-level grenade, one that doesn't add much damage, so that you don't kill yourself with your own grenade when you're trying to do the jumps. So let's see, I think this one will probably get me 12. Oh, maybe not. One more, it looks like.
So, are you there buying grenades to waste the time, the 30 seconds before you save? Is that what you were getting at?
Well, I have to, well, I need grenades. I need the grenade. I need to fill out my grenades so that I have them for the next segment. So I either have to buy the grenades at the beginning of the segment or the end of the segment, because I run out. I throw them all every time.
Okay.
So, I do it at the end of the segment because, it took me a few attempts to do each of those because I have to kill all 4 of the crabs. And if I don't, then I restarted the segment. So it was quicker to as soon as the segment starts, run up and grenade the crabs, and if I missed some, restart. Then I have to, buy grenades and then kill the crabs. And so any segment that I didn't keep, I wasted the time buying grenades. So that's just why I did it at the end instead of at the beginning. But yeah, I couldn't save and exit anyway right after killing the crabs because my 30 seconds hadn't expired. So I was going to have to do something. So out of that chest, I pulled some level 16 explosive bouncing betties, which are one of the, I think it's 4 or 5 items I need to pull in these segments.
You luck manipulated that?
Yeah, it's not guaranteed out of that chest or anything. So I actually kept track on these segments of how many attempts each one took me. So it took me 15 attempts to find the first item that I needed that happened to be those grenades. And they're level 16, so I can't equip them yet. This next segment took me 146 attempts. I don't remember what I pull out of this one, so I'll have to let you know when I get it. But anyway, so yeah, each of these segments starts off with me tossing a grenade at that first pack of crabs, since I'm running by them anyway. And then basically trying to kill all of both of these packs. So I waste all my grenades, and then you usually get a few grenades out of each of these 2 chests. So I just throw them all before I get to the chest, and then get a few more that I can throw. So killing more crabs.
I noticed you're spending your skill points along the way. What are you spending that on?
So I think I must have kept the static SMG, or thought I might want to keep it, which is why I kept that segment. Anyway, the first 5 skill points I spent on grenade damage, or explosive damage, and grenades are explosive damage, so basically skills to make my grenades do more damage. And then after that, I'm spending them on a skill that gives me a damage bonus after I kill an enemy for 10 seconds or whatever. So anytime the little pistol is on the screen up above my grenade over there, down in the bottom right, that's my special being active because I killed something with my grenades in these segments. And yeah, I shoot the 2 skag dens around here just because I want to draw them in case some skags happen to be in the way of my grenades. Okay, so there's the SMG, the erupting SMG I keep for later. Because I need, and I'll explain this later on Skagzilla, but I need a Dual Anarchy is the SMG that I want for the run, but it's terrible over long range. So I need another SMG that I can have for some long range shooting in a little bit. Yay, level 14.
What level are you going to get to before you're done crab level?
I'm going to get to 16. And my reasoning on that originally was I have to be 16 to quit the Dual Anarchy. So I was going to level till 16 so that I could use it on the next couple fights. But knowing what I know now, I would probably leave earlier than that. I keep this segment because I thought I might be able to use that Crimson Thumper on Skagzilla, because it's actually got the double modification on it. So every bullet splits into 2, basically. Even though it's really slow, it's got high damage and it's got the double, but it turned out to just not be that good. So I found that out later and ended up selling it. Where did you ask me? Oh, 16, right. Yeah, so I thought I needed to be... When I was doing my test segments, I did not have weapons that are as good as I have in this run. So I thought I needed to be a lot higher than I really needed to be to kill Sledge in particular. And you have to be 18 to run over Skagzilla with the car. So I get to 16 here because I thought I needed to be that high to kill these guys. And the plan was to run over Skagzilla with the car the first time, which I end up not doing because I don't actually get to 18. I'm at 17. Which it turns out, with the Stomper that I pull out of here, which is an assault rifle, you can kill him at 17. So if I was going to do this run again, I would probably leave here before 16. Well, first I'd see if Sledge and Roid Rage Psycho can be killed in a reasonable amount of time without the Dual Anarchy. And then if they can, then I would leave just in time to get the Skagzilla at 17. Because he's worth more experience than these crabs are per second. Let's see, what level am I now? Uh, 15, so a couple more segments. I don't know. You got anything to say?
Got nothing at this point. Get to watch you do the boring parts here.
Yay, boring parts.
Grind it out.
Yeah, so one of the weapons I need to get out of here, I need to manipulate out of these chests, is a Stomper, which is just one of the assault rifles that does the 3-shot bursts. But the Stomper modification gives it a really big damage boost. So it's basically just really strong, and it's really accurate over a long distance, so I can shoot Skagzilla from really far away with it. crabs.
You got crabs?
Yeah, it sucks. Crabs suck, man. If you shoot the crabs in the eye, then they take a lot of damage. At lower levels, you can kill them with 2 or 3 shots in the eye. Oh, here's my... Oh, no, Glorious Havoc. Never mind. At this level, with this explosive SMG, I can kill him with 1 shot in the eye. But still, the grenades are just faster than trying to hit him in the eye, so... most of the time I kill him with the grenades. And then... Oh, okay, so what that was right there was me luck manipulating a really good shield. And then I toss a grenade to get to 16. And then I still have an exceed of 30 seconds, so I do some inventory manipulation and sell off stuff and fill up on ammo and whatnot. Oh, and while I'm in here, previously I think I bought the SMG and the assault rifle ammo upgrade. And when we're on Skagzilla, I'll explain why I bought it here instead of out there. So now I've got my dual anarchy on, now that I'm 16. Yeah, and if you're doing a segmented speed run, you have to have a dual anarchy. There's no getting around it. It's too good of a weapon to not luck manipulate. And the reason it's so good is they're usually pretty quick submachine guns with a large clip, and they shoot 4 bullets every shot. And the reason they do that is the anarchy modification makes it shoot 2 bullets. So if it makes it a 200% burst fire. Anyway, so the anarchy modification, when you pull the trigger, 2 bullets go every time. And then the dual modification makes each of those 2 bullets split into 2. So every time it fires, 4 bullets actually leave the chamber, or leave the muzzle. And then each of those bullets does its normal damage, and each of them can critical. So if you've got an enemy with a fairly decent critical hit area, and you're tagging him with 4 criticals every bullet, you know, it does so much damage. And even if you're not, you know, if you're shooting someone with 4 bullets out of an SMG that fires really quick, it just does so much damage that it's way better than any other gun. And most of the time in a speedrun, you're not, you know, it's only good for not terribly far of a distance, but you're never really so far away that it's not good to use it. The only time in this run that I don't use it is when I'm killing Skagzilla. So, right here I'm just waiting for the door to open. It takes some time. There's no way to make it go faster that I know of. And then, on to Roid Psycho. Yay! Right here I'm going to toss a grenade to kill that guy right there and activate my damage bonus. And then Roid Psycho goes down. I tried to get to the point that I could kill him without having to reload the DA. But, like, by moving in further at the beginning so that I could get more criticals on his head. Mm-hmm. But I just couldn't make it happen, so. Oh, here's my first grenade jump of the run. So that's the longbow grenade. There's basically a few ways you can do a grenade jump. If you have no grenade mod on, then your grenade you throw it and it'll just bounce and land where it does and explode. which is okay, I guess. You can use stickies, which wherever they land, they stick to. So if you toss it in the ground in front of you, it won't bounce around. It'll just stick on the ground, which is better. But you still have to, like, you still have to throw it in the arc and get it to land kind of where you want it to. And then the longbow grenade, it flies on a straight path directly where you're aiming, and then when it runs into something, it just falls to the ground. Well, in this case, most of the time, I'm throwing it at the ground, so it flies until it hits the ground, and then it just lands there. So it lands exactly where I want it to be for my grenade jump, which is why I use longbows for my jumps this whole run.
It's not particularly sticky, but it also doesn't bounce?
Right, it doesn't bounce. So whatever it runs into, like if you throw it at the wall or at a person, if it anyway, if you throw it at the wall, it'll run into the wall, and then it will just act like a dropped object. So if, it'll fall straight to the ground, or if there's a slope, it'll roll down the slope or whatever. But all of the grenade jumps I do, I'm basically standing on flat ground, so I don't have to worry about that most of the time. But yeah, if there's like an enemy in the path, like this guy right here, this first bandit right here, I tagged him with a longbow more than a few times, and it dropped early, and I had to restart the attempt because my grenade didn't land where I needed it to.
So at this point, the grenades are taking about half your shield to do this jump?
Yeah, if I had a more powerful grenade mod, then they might be killing me, actually. And so those 3 grenade jumps there basically let me skip the whole headstone mine. Normally you have to run like this big path around the mine and like kill a bunch of guys and all this stuff, which you can just run through all the guys. You don't have to actually kill any of them, but it takes time to run all that distance. So the grenade jumps save you a bunch of time there. This is the fire weapon guy. If you shoot him with the fire weapon, he goes, "The burn lets you know it's working." Oh, and he's not my friend. So I threw some grenades here to drop his shield. And then his shotgun is really brutal, even though I'm 2 levels below him. So yeah, his shotgun is just brutal. But if you run in close to him, he does that ground attack, which you can back out of its range before it actually does it. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm getting him to do his ground attack, and then getting out of the way, and then making him do it again so that he won't shoot me with his shotgun.
You can't jump over it?
Over the ground attack? I don't know. I never tried it, actually. I know I know if it's on a different level than you, then it won't damage you. Because originally I was thinking I was going to do that fight by, there's some stairs down to the left over there, and if you get him down the stairs, basically at the foot of the stairs, and you're at the top of the stairs, he's close enough that he'll just constantly do the ground attack, but it won't damage you because it's below you. So I don't know if jumping would work or not.
So you're driving back somewhere, huh?
Yeah, I'm driving back to Firestone.
Why are you driving all the way back?
Instead of coming into this area and then saving an exit?
Yeah.
Because the way the saves work in this game is when you quit, you respawn at the last new use station that you triggered, even if it's not in your current area. So if I just came into this area from the mine and then quit, I would start back in the mine, not here in Firestone.
All right.
And actually in the next area that I'm going to now, the new use station isn't active to start. So this segment here ends up being a pretty long segment because there's a few things I have to do before I can quit and start in the new area. So we'll get to that in a minute. First I gotta drive there and wait for the claptrap and all that good stuff. driving along. Alright, in the new area. I can't believe I kept that in this segment.
Yeah.
Getting stuck on that wall. Alright, it must have been my fastest segment. I'm sure it was, but that's kind of a random mistake. This is usually the place that you get your first staying in the air challenge.
Okay.
When you fall off that jump there. So I shoot those barrels to get those two guys. Oh, 4 actually. Wow. And this is kind of the first, I mean, other than those two bosses, this is the first place on a normal enemy that you get to see just how good the DA is. Just look at look at how those criticals take that guy out. It's just ridiculous.
It looked like when you first entered this, you had a different submachine gun on.
Yeah, I had the explosive, my long range one on, so that I could shoot those barrels on top of the. Because there's a couple of guys up there. So once that gate over there opens, there's this bruiser guy right there that normally you have to kill in that area to get in the back door. But if you run into that little corner that I did just a second ago, he'll come out of the door and it unlocks the one on the side that I went in. So you can get in behind him and not have to kill him. Although someone pointed out later that I probably could kill him with my dual anarchy, and he's worth a lot of experience. So if I ever do this run again, I'm gonna try killing him and see if I can get that to work. So once I throw these two switches and then activate the fast travel network, then that turns on the new U in this area. And then I can finally save and exit and start back here. So there's that. Let's see. And then I think these next two segments are totally waste. Oh, nope, not yet. Never mind, hold on. So this segment is going to be Big Game Hunter. Well, this one and the next one are going to be Big Game Hunter, which is killing Skagzilla the first time so that I can get him to respawn for me for experience. So I get the bait here. If you're 18 at this point, you can do the trick to get the car in there and run him over, but the car's not strong enough if you're 18. So I run in and place the bait, and I run up that way because it's faster than the normal path into the arena. And when you place the bait, then this gate goes up, and you can't leave the arena, but I can't kill him from inside the arena. He'd murder me really quick. So I save an exit to get out of the arena. And now I'm going to go kill him the way I'm going to kill him when I'm leveling. That jump is a little bit tricky sometimes.
So the gate's closed. Why don't you just jump up on there?
If I get any closer than I am, basically if you get on that metal grate, then he'll start moving forward. And he can't get out of the arena even when the gate's not closed. Which, anytime after the first time you kill him, it never closes again.
Oh.
But if I move forward, then he'll notice me, I guess, and move towards me. Which just I'd waste the few seconds it takes him to get over here and for me to position him so that I could shoot him in the critical spot. So it's better to just... This gun is accurate enough that it's better to just leave him back there and shoot him across the distance.
Why aren't you spending that skill point you got?
I don't have anything useful to spend it on. All of the skills that I could spend it on at this point are primarily they're ones that either don't help at all or like help. They give you a bonus after you kill an enemy, and I don't ever kill anything else while I'm fighting him, so there's no point in spending that right now because I wouldn't even be able to use it. And there's some little nuances to this fight that I'll explain during the leveling segments. This fight sure took a while. I can't believe I actually kept this segment.
At level 17, you think you could have done it faster?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't remember. At level 17, it takes a while to kill him, so there's definitely going to be some cycles where he does the short growl, or just kind of miss a little bit. But
why'd you switch from your assault rifle to the SMG?
I use an SMG basically throughout the whole run, and in this game, your weapons get levels kind of basically that make you more accurate using them, and give you like a little bit of a damage bonus. And well, in the case of SMGs, the more you use it, the more accurate it gets, the more damage it does, and the faster it reloads. So, and I'm going to get a lot of experience from killing Skegzilla, and I want all of that experience to go into my SMG being better, which is why I pulled that explosive SMG out of the chest back when I was crab leveling. I needed an SMG that was accurate over a long range so that I could get him down to a sliver with the gun that I kill him with, and then I could switch to my SMG and polish him off and get the SMG. The experience would go towards the SMG.
Okay.
And this little thing I'm doing right here is Ghosts of the Vault, which is just a little side quest that's worth a pretty decent amount of experience, and I was in the area anyway, so I do it because it's quick. And I actually end up pulling a few fairly expensive items out of this chest here, so that helps too.
Did you like manipulate these chests?
No, I didn't bother with this one. Let's see, so just selling stuff here. I keep Sledge's shotgun for later, you'll see that. Okay, so this segment and the next one are totally wasted, basically. When I first started I need to get, right here I need to buy a Warmonger class mod. And the reason for that is the Warmonger gives you a damage bonus. And it's like a direct damage bonus, so all my weapons suddenly do more damage. And the first one that I found had the damage bonus and a grenade damage bonus on it. And it was like 50k or something like that. I didn't have that much, so I opened these chests to get the money that I would need to buy that one. Except that the one I actually end up getting and keeping has a higher damage percent bonus, but it doesn't have the grenade damage. And it was a lot cheaper. So I ended up not needing all the money that I got. I've got 65, 70k, and I don't spend it all. But later in the game, I end up needing basically all that money anyway, so I guess it's not a total waste. So that was the Warmonger that I just bought there. Oh, and actually out of one of those two chests, I pulled another double anarchy, which wasn't originally in the plan. It was slightly better than the one I found in the cave. And once I found out that, like, oh hey, I can pull one here too, and it's really easy. I tried, like, how many? I wrote it down. I tried 190 more times. Like, that double anarchy I pulled was the very first attempt. I just got really lucky and found one. And I tried 190 more times to get a better one than that, and I didn't find another one at all, let alone a better one. So, I was like, okay, fine, moving on. So now I'm on to the actual killing him. How many times do I kill him there? Like, at least 10.
Looks like 16 times.
Holy cow. The reason I'm killing him now is because I need to be 25 to run over the second Janus brother with the car. Reliably. I think it can be done at 24 if your car is basically at full health when you hit him.
Okay.
But it's hard to get your car into the place where you run him over without taking some damage. So, that's another thing that if I was going to do this again, I would probably leave here earlier and I'd do a test to see if the other brother can be killed with the car one level down. Because if he could, that would save me like 3 or 4 of these segments. Alright, so the ammo I mentioned earlier. In the cave, you get the green ammo expansion bonuses. Out of this one here, you can buy the blue ones, which is actually gives you more ammo, but it costs a lot more. And in a speedrun, money management is a big issue, because you just don't end up with enough to buy everything you would like to buy. So, the reason I bought the green ones out of the cave instead of these blue ones is because they were cheaper, and the green one gives me enough ammo to kill Skagzilla, I think 3 times before I have to buy ammo again. So, I got that one, and then later on I'll buy the best SMG ammo upgrade. But anyway, the green assault rifle one was enough to make this go faster, but wasn't terribly expensive, so that's why I bought it then. I hope you got something exciting to say, because this is going to go on for about 20 minutes. What did we talk about last time? We actually tried to record this audio commentary before, over Skype, and there were some issues, so this is attempt number 2, actually.
I think we worked on our Brave New World karaoke.
Oh, is that what
as an intermission song?
There we go. That sounds like fun. Ooh, are we ever gonna do
a whole new world, not a Brave New World?
Oh,
from
a whole
Aladdin.
new world from Aladdin. Nice.
Okay.
That's. I was wondering what you were talking about at first. I was like, that movie doesn't have music in it. Anyway, are we ever gonna do a 2-player single segment of this?
Yeah, we absolutely should. Which is going to take less time, a single segment or segmented?
I don't know. I don't know that it really matters, but this segmented one will obviously be able to be done in shorter time commitments.
Yeah.
One of the guys that's watching us do this live mentioned that we can jump inside and get the Skagzilla drops. That's true, and I think I considered it when I was doing the run, but I don't need the money, basically, is the short of it. And going in there to get it would cost me about 10 seconds an attempt, every time that I went in to pick up the stuff. So when I was doing my test run, I played with, right before, basically when I switch over to the submachine gun, running in there and, tossing a couple grenades or just shooting him while I'm running in and basically meeting him halfway and then picking up the stuff. But it takes too long considering I don't need the money. I don't really need the money. So, because it took like 10 seconds basically to do that. And if I really just needed money, then later on when I get to New Haven, there's the 4 or 5 chests that you can open up all in like a minute that are worth significantly more money than whatever I would get off Skagzilla. So, was considered, but did not do it.
For our 2-player run, we might want to do it segmented since I'm going to be doing a number of atrocious errors along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we want to do a single segment, I'll have to come up with a route. I mean, if we do it segmented, we can basically use this route.
Just modified.
Just modified, yeah, because we'll be able to abuse the Sledge's shotgun.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it basically will just make running to new places a little bit faster. But yeah, it'll modify it. Well, it'll actually probably cut a few of the early segments out because of early on where I save and exit so that I don't have to run back to Firestone. One of us can just be in Firestone, and so we won't have to segment in a few cases. So, I mean, it'll change the run a little bit, but we can basically use this plan to go through the game.
And what do you mean about abusing Sledge's shotgun?
Oh, okay. The only time I use it in this run, actually, is later on Baron Flint, which you'll see what it does. But basically, Sledge's shotgun has knockback, which is kind of basically the same thing that the grenades do. So if a grenade explodes near you, like how I do the grenade jumps, I drop the grenade and then I jump, and because I'm kind of moving away from it already, it pushes me even further. Well, Sledge's shotgun does that, except probably even more than the grenades. And it shoots 2 shots right next to each other. So if you have your buddy that's got Sledge's shotgun, and he crouches down and aims upward a little bit, and then you jump in front of him and he shoots you with Sledge's shotgun. You have to trigger a duel for this to work, because you won't actually hit them if you're not in a duel.
Okay.
But if they shoot you with Sledge's shotgun, it'll throw you like far. Like, for instance, it would throw you from where I am right now most of the way to Skagzilla.
Okay.
Over half of the distance. Like, probably it would throw you to maybe like about here is where you would land or something. It throws you pretty far. So when you like enter a new area, you could do that to like toss your buddy further ahead in the run. But yeah, we'd also have to decide if we want to do local co-op or Xbox Live, and I think that'll probably depend on if you get a recording device or not.
Oh, right. I need a recording device to do it over.
Yeah, because we'd have to, if we do it over live, we'd have to record both video streams.
Okay.
So that we could prove we didn't cheat. And it'd be cool to have a dual video run, but anyway.
So to explain duel for people who haven't played Borderlands, when you're playing in two-player mode, you melee your partner melees you back, and you enter a duel mode, a duel, and then you essentially fight it out. Now, are there challenges for winning the duels? That might be worth the experience.
Yeah, and when you say fight it out, so it's duel, D-U-E-L, not D-U-A-L. But anyway, you fight, and then once one of you basically kills the other, quote unquote, then you're both back alive like nothing happened. So it's not particularly detrimental to do it, other than it takes time. But yeah, there are challenges for winning duels, and I think the first one is 10. So depending on how long it would take you to do that, it might be worth it to have one of the people win 10 at the very beginning of the game. Like, I bet you could win a few duels at the beginning while you're waiting for the claptrap to do his speeches.
Okay.
So it might be worth it to have one of the people do that at the beginning. I don't know if it'd be worth it to have both people do it or not. But
sure. Obviously, criticals take damage. A whole bunch of extra damage. Is there anything like if in a duel your partner turns around and you critical him from behind, is that more damage? Or?
I don't know. I haven't tested it, but yeah, if you were doing the duels for the experience, well, actually, yeah, you'd probably want to do it at the beginning so that you could have your partner like kneel down or whatever, and you could just shoot him right in the head with a shotgun and just take him out right away. It'd probably one shot him.
Sure.
Which would make the duels really quick. So.
Why though? I'm just thinking through. Why to take advantage of that shotgun, Sledge's shotgun? Why do you have to be in duel mode to launch your partner?
Because you don't. If you shoot your partner and you're not in duel mode, if you shoot like in their direction, your bullets just pass right through them. They don't actually hit them.
Okay.
So if you were to try and shoot your partner with Sledge's shotgun, you wouldn't hit them, and so the knockback wouldn't activate.
How does duel mode deactivate?
When you start a duel, this ring kind of generates around you. It's this big, kind of just wavy line wall that you can walk through. So for the duel to stay legitimate, you have to be inside of the arena that gets generated around you. So you can finish a duel by either leaving the arena or by one of you falling to the ground.
Okay.
So when you do the Sledge's shotgun tossing, they always end by the one person leaving the arena because the shotgun tosses them way outside the arena.
All right. You were thinking that soldier, what's his name?
Roland.
Roland would be the second character for...
If you can't super brick, I think it would either be Roland or Lilith, depending on a couple things. But yeah, Lilith, because she could let the second person bypass some enemies and run a little bit faster in certain occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Roland might be useful though for if it was a single segment run. I would definitely say Roland for the ammo regeneration and the health regeneration.
Okay.
For a segmented run, I would probably say Lilith because of the speed boost. Because basically, anytime you save an exit, you start near a vending machine so you can buy ammo. So running out of ammo is not as much of a deal during a segmented run.
Sure.
I have no idea how many times I've killed him, but I think I must be getting close to being done. I don't think I get to 24 from killing him, so... Hopefully we're almost done with this. Oh, and like right there, I'm not shooting him for a second there. When Skagzilla's basically got two roar animations. There's the long one, which is great, and then there's the shorter one, which is a little bit higher. He doesn't like crouch down as far, and it's shorter. But either way, if you're shooting him, it delays the onset of the next animation, and you can't get a critical unless he's in his roar animation. So basically, I shoot him as much as I can while he's roaring, and then I try and time it so that my reloads happen while I'm waiting for the next animation to start. And some of these segments I reset just because he did the short animation too many times. So this is the long one here. And if you start firing soon enough with the long one, you can almost get 2 full clips into him. Also, the short animation is not as stable, like he moves his head around a little, so it makes getting criticals less consistent. Oh, you're kidding me, I'm killing him again? Jeez.
Could you not have saved an exit with that car already spawned? You run back to spawn that car every time.
No, anytime you exit, there's no cars on the map when you come back.
Okay.
If there was, the car would be out here, and I would just warp to it instead of respawning it.
Oh, sure.
Which is another thing you could do in a multiplayer run.
Sure.
You could kind of, in a couple of cases, abuse warping to the car. So, if you had a quest or something out in one particular area, but you had to make a trip back to Firestone to do something between them, you could have the one person drive out to the place where you want to be, and then once the second person had got done doing whatever they were doing, then they could warp straight to the car instead of having to drive on their own. Although, with 2 cars, it would make some of the missions go faster.
Okay.
Like the one I'm about to do, the killing the 8 bandit patrols.
Mm-hmm.
If you both had a car with a rocket launcher, you could kill them quicker.
Looks like you're done. Skag leveling.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, so it must be 24 that, I think I must kill him 1 or 2 more times, because I think I end up about a third of the way through the level before I move on. Yeah, so we'll call that bad aiming I just did right there, due to me being...
Dual joysticks.
Yeah, due to not having a keyboard and mouse.
you have a sense for if a 2-player speedrun's going to be faster or slower? It should be faster.
It should be faster. Oh yeah. Because you'll save running time and you'll kill the bosses faster with 2 people shooting them. Although they'll be a little stronger.
Yeah.
But still, I would think that it would end up being a faster run, especially segmented. It'd certainly be a little more annoying. Oh, I didn't tell you. Someone found a duplication glitch with Brick. Oh, but you have to be on the PC to do it. So we wouldn't be able to use that. So we'd actually have to pull 2 dual anarchies out of the chest in the cave.
Oh, I see. You think that's worth it? Obviously, with 1 player, you need 1.
Yeah.
With 2 players, you think it's worth both having that weapon?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because it's just so much better than a normal, like any other weapon, basically. The only weapon I think that probably even comes close is Crimson Hellfire.
Okay.
So, yeah, you would need to, there's a few missions where you have to kill, there's a lot of places where you have to just kill normal enemies, like guys, And anytime you're killing a person, it's significantly faster to have a dual anarchy. And then obviously on the bosses, it's faster too. So yeah, you would, if you're doing it segmented, you'd have to get 1 for each of you.
You're moving on.
Yay, I'm killing bandits now. So I use the rocket launcher here because I know I'm going to be close to these cars. And the rocket launcher does more damage than the machine gun turret. But you have to hit them for it to do more damage. If you miss maybe once, definitely twice if you miss, you just waste so much time because the rocket launcher takes a lot longer. So a few of my resets on this one were due to just missing too many times with the rocket launcher. Someone on the comments asked if I like the PC or the Xbox version better. I don't have a computer that can play this, so Xbox. If I had a choice, I would probably do the run on the PC, for 2 reasons now. Primarily because the aiming is better with the keyboard and mouse, but then also someone found the item duplication glitch, which could be abused for money, and if you're doing a multiplayer run, you can abuse it to duplicate a good dual anarchy. So you'd only have to pull 1 and you can both have it. Although the duplication glitch does require a full duration of Berserk. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I fill up on ammo there after killing the bandits and I'm going to go fight Mad Mel. The way the duplication glitch works, apparently on the PC, there's a button that will let you drop the weapon that you have equipped without going into the menu.
Okay.
So you've got your weapon out, and you drop it and you activate a special right away, and the weapon that you drop will drop onto the ground, and then if you wait for Berserk to run out, when it runs out, it will re-equip that weapon for you when Berserk ends. You won't have any ammo. Apparently it drains all your ammo, but it will re-equip the same weapon.
So you've got 1 on the ground and you've got 1 equipped.
Yes. Although, so if you're doing local co-op, you would have to duplicate it that way. If you're doing it over live, there's another way you can duplicate it that's much quicker. And that is, if the host save and exits before the person that joined does. Oh right. So sorry. Back to the actual run here. I want to have the car when I'm done with this because I need to drive to the next area, and it takes so long to kill Mad Mel with the car and not let the car get destroyed. So because the dual anarchy is so good and the cars in this game are made out of paper mache, I go ahead and just shoot him with the dual anarchy to kill him. And then he's kind of a jerk. Like there were definitely a few attempts that ended because I got run over by a car and it insta kills you. And there were segments where he just drove in a pattern that I couldn't follow. It's much easier to follow him on the PC than it is with the dual analog. So that I just had to do that segment enough times that I could kill him in a reasonable amount of attempts, And then I have to come to New Haven before I can save and exit because I have to trigger the new U to start here again. But I go ahead and do... Basically, if I were to save and exit right now, it would save me like 3 seconds, the time it takes to run back to that new U station. And since this mission right here is a story mission, I have to do it. And it's really hard to screw up. I go ahead and just tacked it on to the end of the segment, just so I wouldn't have to segment again. Anyway, if you're playing over Xbox Live, you can. So you've got the host, which is the person that's hosting the game, and then you've got your clients, which are your friends that join you. If the host saves and exits, the clients will exit without saving. So what you can do is you can have one of the clients drop a weapon, have the host pick it up and save and exit, and the client will be reverted to their last autosave. So if you had a dual anarchy, let's say, and you were the client, so I start a game, I invite you, you drop the dual anarchy, I pick it up, and then I save and exit. You will still have your dual anarchy because it didn't save when you quit, and I will have it too because I picked it up and it saved when I quit.
Okay.
So if we do a 2-player run over live, we can duplicate items that way.
Okay.
And that is really great because as long as you don't do anything after the last autosave that we need to keep, basically we would want to time it so that we did those after we trigger a save post.
Mm-hmm.
Or like run back into Firestone or something. Because, or we would just do like one of the luck manipulation segments, we could just end it right there.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you haven't done anything that we care about saving, like gotten experience or whatever,
right.
You can duplicate weapons like that over live. But yeah, if you do it on local, both characters save when you exit.
When we are grinding for luck manipulation and 2-player speedrun, are we both going to need to be actively playing while we luck manipulate, or can...
Well, first of all, let me explain what I just did there. I drove by that outpost over there to trigger it. I have to run to Tanis here. But if I don't trigger that outpost when I save and exit, I'll end up back in New Haven. So I went a tiny bit out of my way to trigger that outpost so that I'll start there in a second. And normally you're supposed to go around, but if you do it just right, you can run up that wall there and save some time. So anyway, what did you ask?
I was asking, when we're grinding, just grinding through to luck manipulate something,
right.
And 2-player, do we both have to be playing at that time?
I would think so. And sorry to interrupt again, but I'm going to do the developer chest here. I'm not 100% positive that it's a developer chest, quote unquote, but there is this chest that's really, really well hidden here. And it's a high-level chest for when you can first get to this area. I think it's a level 25 chest. And you can... No, it's got to be higher than... It might be a 28 or a 30 chest. So it's a little bit high, and it's hidden under this ledge here that is tricky to get to. So you can see I pulled a level 22 dual anarchy out of it. So it tends to have really good items in it, like a better than normal rate of like blues and purples. And it's a fairly high level for the area. So anyway, so people call it a developer chest. I don't know if it's actually accurate or not, but Anyway, I use it to get a new dual anarchy that's quite a bit stronger than my previous ones. And actually, I got really lucky. The one that I pulled there is a 12 fire rate dual anarchy. So it just empties the clips so quick. Anyway, so back to the luck manipulation. In the cave, for sure. Because you would want one of us killing crabs while the other was going and collecting the chests. I would say that yes. I mean, like, I don't think that they would probably allow a dual video one if both characters video. Like, I don't think if we were doing a 2-player speedrun, I could just load up one character and play it to do the luck manipulation without the other character present. Mm-hmm. I don't think that would be illegal.
And likewise, if I was at home and I did load it up and but I just sat there,
that would be fine because you'd be in the game. But it would be a waste because you could be killing enemies.
Exactly. And so actually they probably wouldn't accept the run because
I don't think the verifiers would accept it unless there was really nothing you could do. But even in that case, I would say that they probably wouldn't accept it because if there's nothing you can do because one of us is going to a chest, we should be racing to the chest.
Okay, sure.
So, the 2-player one is definitely going to be interesting if we play it over live. Because the first person has to start and be in the game, I think. Do they have to be in the game before the second player can join, or can you be on the menu screen?
Every time we've done it, you have to be in the game.
Yeah. So, one of you is going to have a drastically different finishing time than the other. Because you'll have a few seconds where you're in the game before the other person is. Mm-hmm. A segmented, oh god, I don't know that we would want to do a segmented run, honestly. Now that I think about it, especially over live, because of how much time it would take to manipulate the save states.
Right.
Because every time you fail a segment, you have to go right there I went down, but I shot those 2 barrels right before I went down, and when they exploded, they killed bandits and got me back up right away. And it actually happens again right here, too. I toss a grenade, and then I go down, and my grenade takes out someone, picking me back up, so it doesn't waste any time. So I got a couple of really lucky parts on this segment, and it was just a pretty good segment, even though in a little bit here I'll waste a few seconds. Which I'll show you. What was I saying though before that?
We were talking about not wanting to do one over live because of save states.
Oh, yeah, just because the save manipulation would be such a pain in the ass. Unless we were going to be... so here I waste a few seconds looking for guys before I realize they're over there. But unless we were going to be less picky about the quality of the segments, which you might have to be on the 2-player run anyway. But still, I don't know if over live would be a good idea for a segmented one. A single segment over live would be fine because there's not really any resetting involved and save manipulation.
Yeah. So you mean that would be interesting?
So I don't know. We could try it if we wanted to do segmented and see if it just gets so annoying that it's not worth it. But a segmented one over live would definitely be worth it for the ability to duplicate items.
Right.
Because if you had a full inventory of expensive items and dropped them all, and I picked them all up, and then I sold them all on the next segment, you wouldn't need to open any chests, basically, for money items. So anyway, I cleared out Earl's area, and now I'm going to go get some bottles. if you want, I'm going to go get a soda if you want to explain why I do this in multiple segments.
Alright.
You know why?
I know why. Okay, so you'll notice William came in here, takes these guys out, he's collecting bottles, and once he's cleared this little area, there's a ton of map behind this area with a whole bunch more bottles. But come to find out that saving and exiting here, there'll be all these bottles right back here again, and it tends to be a lot quicker to just reset this area with a save and exit than running back through the rest of the map.
Yeah. Anytime this quest is active, anytime you kill one of these guys, they drop one bottle. And like you said, there's a lot of map and a lot more enemies. But there's like 20-30 seconds of running you have to do to get to the next big batch of enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the longer your segment, the more chance you have of making a mistake and wasting some time. So it's just a lot faster to kill these 7 guys. You know there's exactly 7 enemies here, and you know exactly where they are, because they haven't had enough time to really move around. So it winds up just being quicker to do it in multiple segments. Let's see, am I on? Nope, not quite done. I actually get, I think it's in this segment here, I get an item that is really, really good. I think it's a Glorious Havoc, which I kept for a little bit because I thought that I might need to use it later. Well, let me explain here. If you're playing any game, if you're doing a speed run of any game that has like an experience system, and you know that at some point you need to have a certain amount of experience, and so you're doing like leveling now so that you can be a certain amount of level later. For instance, my Skagzilla leveling, I messed up. I know that I want to be a certain level when I run over the second brother because the car can't kill him unless I am. And so I did all that leveling to be a certain level at the second brother. But it turns out I needed to do one more segment. I didn't do enough. So anyway, just play ahead. That's the Shattering Havoc right there. That's the gun I was just mentioning. But anyway, so if you're doing any sort of thing where I have to do this now so that I'm a certain level later, play ahead. When you think you're done, play ahead and make sure that you're at the level you need to be at. I was able to salvage this run because of something I do later that I'll explain, but I screwed up. And also make sure if you're doing a test, get weapons and items or whatever you have to get that's as close to your final one that you're going to have as possible, especially if it's random like in this game. Because the dual anarchy I have now, did I write down somewhere what it is? It's like 30-something by 4 with 12 fire rate. And the one that I was doing my test run with was 19 by 4. So it was significantly worse. And on the final boss, I kept running out of ammo. Because my gun just did not do enough damage to him to kill him with the ammo that I had available. And also on the Rakive, I had issues with ammo on my test runs. So I got that Shattering Havoc, which is a machine gun assault rifle. That, I think Havoc makes it shoot fast and be a machine gun, and Shattering gives it a huge damage bonus. Oh, right here, I trigger this outpost, middle of nowhere, so that I can warp to it later. So there's a couple of second detour there. I'm on my way to Crom. Anyway, so I thought I might need that Shattering Havoc later because it's actually a really good gun. It would be awesome if I didn't have the dual anarchy. But I thought I might need to keep it for if I ran out of ammo on Destroyer. At some point, I played ahead and found out that I don't need it, and I end up selling it, but I don't remember when that is.
So I'd seen a segment where you had gotten a car in here. Why don't you do that here for the speedrun?
Did I do a segment, or did I just tell you about it sometime?
No, I saw a segment.
I think
you didn't keep it in the speedrun. Yeah, you showed it to me.
I showed, yeah. Anyway, I found out a way you can drive the car up into here by like going off the walls funny. But you can't get it up into Chrome's Canyon here. There's another set of barricades that you can't get through. So it takes too much time to get the car into there, and it doesn't get you anything. So I didn't bother doing it for the speedrun.
Okay.
Yeah, so play ahead. This is the first speedrun I've ever done, so there are definitely a couple of mistakes that I made that I guess are just things that you do when you're new to speedrunning, and playing ahead is definitely it. Like I'm doing a Gears of War speedrun now, and there's no experience or anything like that in that game, so you don't. Other than route planning, you don't have to play ahead to like make sure that you do whatever. Anyway, so this is here. If you noticed right before I entered this cutscene, my shields were down, and when we come out of it, I'll be at full shields because they regenerate during the scene. And then right up here, I use a grenade jump to not have to cross the canyon a couple of more times.
That's one of the improvements, right? Over the other two guys. Running.
Yeah, that's actually, that's my addition to the run. One of two. I only made 2 actual, like, improvements to this run. Everything else is basically a direct copy of their route plan. That grenade jump was one of them. Go me. I had to do this segment twice, actually. A few times, but I ended up getting shot down here once. So even though it was like a really fast segment up to that point, but I fell down there, and I had to get back up before I could pick up the stuff out of the chest, which wasted a few seconds. So I had to redo that segment so that I could not get shot down there. So anyway, I picked up a piece of the vault key, and I have to take it to Tanis now. Were we talking about anything? Maybe.
I don't recall.
Okay. Well, as long as I've got a second here, I'll mention the car meleeing. I don't think your level or anything like that has any effect on how far the car gets thrown when you swat it. And I don't even think necessarily you being on a different level than it has an effect. Like if it's on like a step or something and you're beneath it, I don't think it gets thrown any higher or farther based on that. I'm positive it doesn't get thrown any different based on the direction that you're pointing when you melee it. Like if you aim up when you melee it, it doesn't get thrown higher or anything. But when the car gets thrown, it does get thrown on a direct line that runs from you through the center of the vehicle. So if you were to draw that line and continue it, that's the direction the car gets thrown. So you don't necessarily want to be standing next to the driver's seat when you throw the car. Because like if I were to get out of the car right now and move to the driver's side and face the car, right? And then stand in front of the driver's seat, most of the car would be to the right of me.
Right.
And the center of mass, quote unquote, of the car would be to the right of me.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to melee it then, it would get tossed to the right some. So you need to stand basically in the center of the car, face, so that it gets thrown the direction that you want it to go.
And you're about to use that?
I'm going to use it fairly soon. on the second Jamestown fight. The first one's coming up here, and then I have to do a couple of side missions, and then I have to throw the car over the wall, because you're not supposed to be able to drive the car into the town.
Okay.
So I have to throw it over the wall to be able to run this guy over, this guy right here, actually. So this is the first Jamestown fight where I killed Janus Cobb. It goes pretty well. I don't, for some reason, I think I just aim kind of poorly on this one. I aim at his body instead of his head. So it might have gone like a second faster if I'd gotten more criticals. But still, I mean, he goes down pretty quick. And I wasn't able to beat that in a few more attempts, so that was the one I kept. So now I gotta talk to this guy, and he'll send me to Old Haven to talk to this other guy. It's kind of funny up ahead. You've done, obviously you have, you've played the game.
Right.
That crate up ahead with the guys in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Right.
The story mission I'm on right now is getting what's coming to you. And so you're supposed to go open up this crate, and I think they tell you there's going to be treasure or something in it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But when it opens up, there's like a midget in it. Like a couple of guys jump over the wall and try and kill you. You don't actually have to kill him for the mission, though, so I just save and exit to get back here.
If you play some of the DLC, that mission's kind of like in the Robolution, in the Claptrap Robolution DLC. You get to rescue one more Claptrap. It's got a similar sense of humor.
Oh, right, yeah, I remember that. Speaking of the DLC, actually... Oh, okay, actually here. So, earlier when I mentioned playing ahead, so I should be 26 right now to run over the second Janus brother. But I'm not because I didn't play ahead and I was dumb. Fortunately, though, that mission that I just did to activate the bounty board was pretty quick, and then a small route change I did. At some point, I have to go to Old Haven. I have to drive there at some point. Once I've been there, I can warp to the new U station there. So, originally I planned on going to Old Haven later in the run. But I was able to move it up to here because there's a mission, investigate the smoke signals, which is complete when you touch that guy, and it gets you experience. Now, once you do that, then you get another one to put out the smoke signals, which I don't do. But since I had to run to Old Haven at some point anyway, and there was that quest there that was basically free experience, it cost me all of half a second to touch that guy. Mm-hmm. I did that bounty board and that one to get me the level I needed. Originally, that was not in my run plan. Although, now that I know about it, I would put it in my run plan because I believe doing that is faster than killing Skegzilla one more time.
Okay.
So here's where I melee the car over the wall. You're not supposed to be able to get the car in here. And here is my only real contribution to the run. You can drive through this wall. And I found that. There's something weird about the way this game runs. I guess basically there's things that are solid to people and there are things that are solid to vehicles, and they're not necessarily the same thing. They have to be programmed into the game.
Okay.
So you can't walk through that wall as your character outside of a car. But if you're in the car, because you're not really supposed to be able to get cars into that area, they didn't bother making all of the objects in that area solid to vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do a grenade jump here just because I can, basically, and it saves all of a second, I think.
What do you think that car jump saved you?
Oh, killing him with the car instead of killing him normally? Easily 2 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
At this level? Yeah, oh yeah. He's such a pain in the butt to kill, because he's got the roaster, which is a really decent rocket launcher. And if he tags you with it, it'll take you out. Plus, he's got 2 brutes in there that you have to kill because you can't kill him without without killing them because they'll destroy you. They've got like machine guns or something. So, yeah, it saves a lot of time. And now I'm going to go and kill the rack hive for the first time. So this one is for the story. And then after I do a couple of things, then I'll come back and I'll kill him twice more for experience. Rack hive is actually the best experience in the game. I think crabs are about 120, 130 experience a second. If you do the segment right. You can get up to 150 on a crab if you do like a perfect segment.
Okay.
Skegzilla is about 150 experience a second, I think. And then Rack Hive is somewhere around 200, if I remember right.
Including all this time it takes to run up to get to him, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, from the beginning of the segment until you kill him. You get enough experience that with the right dual anarchy, he goes down fast enough that it's worth about 200 experience a second.
Wow. Did we play with trying to launch you with that shotgun?
To the hive from like, the very entrance? Yeah, there's invisible walls. You can't do it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm killing the rack hive here, and I'm not using the zoom. Even though it would help, it would bring the spread on my... Oh, I kill those 2 racks to activate my special. But if I were to zoom in, I would get more criticals. And if I had an iron sight instead of a scope, I would do that. But with the scope, it zooms in so far at this range that it's basically useless. And if he moves at all, which he does frequently, I can't keep him in the, I can't keep shooting him because he moves out of the way and I can't scroll fast enough to target him.
Sure.
So yeah, I wanted a dual anarchy with iron sights, but I got this one, and this one has like a 3 or 4 zoom scope. So I basically just can't use the scope on this one. Turning the key back into Tanis. Man, she's awfully lazy. She just sits there and we do all the work for her. And then she turns around and betrays us. Dang it, Tanis.
Is this the last time you visit her before you come and collect your reward?
Yeah, because after this, you do the salt flats.
Mm-hmm.
And that one is the one that she lied to you about there being a key.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess I luck manipulated a better bouncing Betty there.
So in a single segment, you don't luck manipulate, right?
Not exactly. In a single segment, you would be checking the vending machines frequently to see if they had an item that you want.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't necessarily do a true luck manipulation because you can't save and quit and then look at it again.
Mm-hmm.
The vending machines do get new stock every so many play minutes, though.
Right.
So, you'd have to balance how long it takes to check the vending machine against how much you really need a better weapon.
Sure.
So here's another good. I had to change my strategy when I was fighting the Rat Hive in this, because when I was doing my test segments, I had the 19 dual anarchy, the 19 damage one, compared to like 34 of this one. I think it is.
Right.
And it just took me a lot longer, and I was running out of ammo killing him because it didn't do enough damage. But it did lead me to find a pretty neat trick. When he's shooting the swarms of racks at you, if you wait for them to start coming towards you, and then you toss an explosive contact grenade at them, most of the time, if you do it right, it will hit one of the racks. And if it does, it basically takes out the entire swarm.
Wow.
And if they're close enough to you, all of the racks die, and they all drop ammo, and because they're flying towards you, basically all the ammo falls right at your feet.
Okay.
So if you're fighting the Rat Hive and you have an ammo problem, get yourself explosive contacts and tag the racks as they're flying towards you. You have to. It's a little tricky. You have to. I mean, it's not that bad, but if you wait too long, then it'll explode close to you, and the grenade will damage you. And if you throw it too far away, then you probably won't hit them with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's possible to throw an explosive contact grenade and take out the whole swarm of racks.
Now, I've done a lot of Rat Hive leveling, level up various weapons for various things in the DLC, especially. When I was doing that, it stopped spawning rack. What's the deal with that?
I think in the second playthrough, after, I don't know if it's any time in the second playthrough, but definitely by the time you beat the second playthrough, there's some glitch and the Rat Hive just won't send out racks anymore.
Oh, okay.
So, which annoyed me actually when I was working on my primary character and like doing some leveling of weapons and stuff. Because he's got all these moves that get activated when I kill an enemy, and without racks to kill, I couldn't activate my damage bonuses. It's like, that's annoying. Okay, so I think that's it, and I'm off to Baron Flint now. Oh, right, I have to do Old Haven. I've got to get this claptrap so that I can, so that he can open the way to the Salt Flats. So, is it, I don't know if it was here or earlier, but I luck manipulated a new shield out of that vending machine. Because I needed it for the end of the game. The one I got in the cave was just not good enough anymore. So I got a new shield that I think had over 500 base capacity. And then I've got a special ability that increases my shield capacity. And then I have to kill this guy so that he doesn't kill me while I'm waiting for the claptrap. And, that's the end of that segment. So here you could warp back out to the other zone, but that would put you further away. It would take longer to get here in a car than it would to just run this short distance. So I just exit out of Old Haven and just run to here. Doo-doo.
You don't... Looks like you have the machine gun vehicle now instead of the rocket launcher.
Yeah, I switched to the machine gun after I killed the bandit patrols. Because I don't really know why I do it for Mad Mel. It's not really necessary. Probably just because I thought I could kill those 2 runners in there a little faster with them. Because as soon as they start moving, then you have the potential to miss them. But here, I do the machine gun instead of the rocket launcher because I'm shooting these guys from so far away, typically, that the machine gun would not hit them.
The rocket launcher wouldn't hit them.
Sorry, the rocket launcher would not hit them, or it would just miss more than it's worth. But the machine gun tends to do okay from longer distances, so I think it's a little faster to kill them with the machine gun in this case. And I wasn't able to actually discern a real pattern for where these guys spawn. Like, there's 4 of them, basically on each corner. 1 on each corner if you were to draw a box around Thor there. But I think they spawn randomly. I tried, a few segments to get this one, and they never spawned in the same order.
So, playing through the first and second time, I didn't notice you can lock on your rocket launcher. I'm noticing you're able to lock on your machine gun too.
Yeah, if you got if you don't have a second player in the car, then as the driver you can lock your turret onto an enemy. I think it's like Y on the Xbox or something. I don't know. It's just press the face buttons. One of them does it. And that just helps you kind of auto aim basically the turret if you're driving, because you frequently need to drive around obstacles or just around to not get shot, and so you can't aim the turret and drive at the same time. So, up here, I'm going to kill a bunch of guys, and you'll see me use Sledge's shotgun. Someone found after, originally I was told that there's a way to get up to Baron Flint without killing the guys. So there's a couple gaps that after you kill enough guys at the bottom here, then bridges come out and let you get up to Baron Flint. But you have to kill the guys for the gaps to close. Which is what I'm doing here. Someone told me originally that you can get up to him without killing these guys. And so I tried to grenade jump over the gaps or figure something out. But there are definitely invisible walls across the gaps. Mm-hmm. So I figured maybe it was an old thing and it had been patched or something. But after I was completely done with my run, someone else found the way to do it. And it involves getting up on the buildings behind me going around. So basically there's up on the left over there on those red tarps, if you jump up on them and go across, you can get around the invisible wall. So if I was going to do it again, I wouldn't kill these guys down here, I would just go around.
Probably save a couple minutes?
Yeah, probably about a minute. I tried to... Okay, so here's the first toss with that, and you can see it throws him all the way off the edge over there. I thought at first he was going to ruin it for me, but luckily he bounced off this building and still went outside, so that segment was saved. The other guy, the guy with the sword, you can't throw for some reason. I tried, it just doesn't work. So that's why I killed him normally. And then I throw Baron Flint there, which kills him. And then I have to get back up because he managed to kill me with the boomstick while I was tossing him. And now we're getting close to the end. Commander Steele tells me something I'm going to completely ignore. Oh, actually, I guess I added this grenade jump to the run, too. Coming up here, there's a grenade jump. There's kind of a loop you have to run around in this cave here to get to where you're going. And right up ahead here. So there's that path, that bridge on top. You have to run this loop to get up there and cross that bridge. And then it continues off to the right up here. But if you do this grenade jump here, then you can skip running the loop, which saves like 30, 40 seconds. And then you can see from how much money I have left after I buy this upgrade here, which is the last grenade upgrade that I buy, that I was pretty short on cash at that point. I think I tried earlier and I couldn't buy that upgrade any earlier than basically now because I didn't have enough money. So, fortunately I was able to buy that last grenade upgrade. And then I hide behind these boxes over here so that when they start shooting, especially the Iridian rocket launcher that's shooting those balls, the crate eats them instead of me, so I don't die. And then over here I put this guy between me and him so that he shoots his buddy in the back instead of me.
Does his buddy take damage?
I don't know. I don't know if he actually takes damage from it or not, but I don't get hit by it. So.
Right.
And then here I have to stay behind this turret so it doesn't kill me until it disappears. And then you'll see me basically kind of wasting a lot of time staying out of the way of these orbs because this next one I'm going to eat and you can see it almost kills me. If I take another, I would have died. So. Also, I should have just held the trigger down, but you can see I wasted a few seconds there because I was trying to time my shooting so that I would run up and have a full clip to shoot him in the face after he shot his orb.
Okay.
Because I run in and I get up close to him so I can hit him with more of the bullets. And I was trying to time it so that when I ran in, I had a full clip. I wouldn't have to reload while I was close to him.
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of doesn't consistently use the same delay between shots. So I probably should have just held down the trigger and just kept shooting. And then I leveled, but these three guys, man, they sure took me down quick. But I managed to get up okay, and this was still the fastest attempt at this segment, so even though I went down back there, I ended up keeping it. And waiting for the door to open.
Nothing to spend your skill point on while you waited for the door?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that would have been a good time to spend it. I'm sure there's something I could have spent it on. I don't know why I didn't. Probably because I just didn't realize at the time that I had leveled or whatever. There's certainly nothing I needed to spend it on. I need to spend it so that I can have the, whatever bonus I spend it on at some point, but
yeah.
There's no fights in these next few segments really, so it's not necessary that I spend it. Alright, so these, there's 3 switches you have to trigger, but it doesn't keep track of which ones you actually touched. So if you exit and then come back, you can hit the same switch 3 times. And this happens to be, there's 2 of them that are basically the same distance apart from the starting location. And this one you can much more consistently get to without dying or being slowed down quite a bit by enemies. So that's why I'm going to this one. So I need to trigger it 3 times for the story mission. I'm surprised I made it this one, actually. I thought I was going to die and have to do this one again. Oh, and also, this one, those two doors in that hallway there are open. If you go to the other switch that's kind of the same distance, aside from having some jerks on the way that tend to either kill you or slow you down quite a bit, you have to open two doors to get to it, which takes a second each, about 1 or 2 seconds. So.
On my first playthrough, I had gotten 2 of the switches and then I needed to go do something, so I saved and exited. And when I came back in, it wouldn't even tell me where the third one was, so that's where I learned about this glitch. I just had to go back to the very first one I had done and flip it again and
Oh, yeah.
moved on. It wasn't until my second playthrough that I actually got to go out to that third switch.
Hmm. Yeah, that third switch is quite a bit further away. Okay, so I spent my skill point here on this one, basically because it was a good time to do it, since I'm doing some buying and whatnot. And right here, I'm basically buying my ammo for the rest of the game. Just making sure I'm full. And waiting for the door to open.
Just like with the Windows operating system, when you get the shield that says, in the lower right hand corner, it says, it's time to install Windows updates. I can't ignore it. I don't care what I'm doing, how busy I am. I have to click that shield and install right away, even if it requires a restart. So those skill points, yellow and flashing, it
just bugs you when you've got an unspent point.
It's a distraction I can't ignore.
I see. So actually, back there a little bit, when I triggered that switch inside, you got like a 10 or 15 second pause between when you trigger the switch and when you get the next story mission. Normally, when you finish one story mission, it gives the next one to you immediately. But that's one of the few places in the game where it doesn't. So triggering that switch ends the previous story mission. Then you have to wait 15 seconds until you get the next one. I found out on one of my test runs that if you save and exit before you get the next story mission, you break the game.
Okay.
You basically you don't ever get the next story mission, so you can't move any further.
Wow.
So if you like, I was lucky that I had I had backup saves of the segment right before that, so I didn't lose anything. But if a new person, like, for whatever reason, had to stop right after they touched that switch, they'd have to start completely over.
Wow.
To be able to finish the game. Anyway, so here I'm running. I originally thought I might do this in 3 segments, so I would do like going through the salt flats, and then I would do running through here, and then I would do running through the Iridian Promontory, all as their own segment. But they're not that terribly difficult to run through, and doing them all as one let me finish in exactly 99 segments. So, because this was my 98th segment, and then there's the one where I killed Destroyer. So, I went ahead and just did them all as one segment.
Just a novelty, right? It doesn't matter how many.
No, there's no limit to how many segments you can do. I could have done it in 102 segments, but I don't know. I felt like 99 segments, I guess. In this area, there's a few grenade jumps you can do that save basically a couple of seconds each. I don't end up doing them, though, because I need my grenades for the Destroyer fight. There's no vending machines between basically here and there. So if I were to use any ammo or grenades now, I would be down those grenades when I fight Destroyer. So I don't do any grenade jumps in this area, even though I could.
You mean you have to fight something? You're not just going to enter a vault and be...
Yeah.
Beyond.
This, the vault isn't just full of treasure and guns and ammo like you're told at the beginning of the game.
Oh, man.
No. Apparently the vault was designed to hold this big, badass monster that you don't want out. And the Iridians somehow put him there the first time. So, yeah. But we don't find that out until we open the vault and he starts clawing his way out of it. Up here, I kind of go this way because I don't know why I thought I might be able to crawl up the right over there, but I realized I couldn't. So I kind of wasted that half a second, I guess, but I needed the shield regeneration anyway that time gave me, so it was necessary time spent, I suppose. This cutscene here is unskippable, so I have to watch it, and then I'll save and exit. And when I start again, the destroyer will be out of the vault, and I'll be here. So that makes the final segment nice because you always start right in front of the boss.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the boss fight goes, he's got as you're fighting him, he's clawing his way out of the vault, and basically I think he does it 3 times. And the triggers for when he does it are when he gets down to a certain amount of hit points. And while he's clawing his way out, he isn't attacking you. And it takes like I don't know, 5 or 8 seconds each time he tries to claw his way out for him to do it. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to shoot him until he starts attacking me with his tongue. Then I'm going to shoot the tongue to destroy it, which causes him to open his mouth and just leave it open a little bit. And when you toss your grenades in his mouth, they do all of the Bouncing Betty offshoots. They all hit and they all do criticals. So he takes like a lot of damage if you throw grenades in his mouth here. So what I do is I throw just all of my grenades in his mouth, and so he takes all the grenades damage, and it basically triggers all of his... so now I'm just fighting him while he claws, while he does all 3 of his clawing his way out of the vault animations, and he's not attacking me at any of that time. So the grenades do a lot of damage, and then it gives me like 20 seconds of basically free time to attack him.
Now, this is the first time I've seen you destroy Destroyer.
Oh, right. Yeah, the video didn't work for you last time.
Right.
So.
Dang.
Almost. Kill that thing to get back up, and it activates my damage bonus, and then there you go.
So you only took out 1 tentacle then?
Yeah, I only needed 2. I played around with... basically saving some of the grenades for nearer the end when he's got more of the tentacles out and he does more damage. But it's just not worth it. Like, basically, when you throw all your grenades in the mouth at the beginning, all the time that it gets you while he's crawling out is worth more than, like, saving the grenade for the end. Because I'm guaranteed, if I do it at the beginning there, I'm guaranteed that all of my grenades will get criticals. Like every explosion will be a critical damage explosion.
Mm-hmm.
So it does so much damage, and at the end when he's out there, he's got 4 tentacles. So basically, I knew I was going to go down, but I had 4 targets to get back up with. But anyway, that's it. That's the end of the game. So I hope you enjoyed watching it and learned some things from this commentary. Here we go. And then, and it's over. Show the final time and cut. Thanks for watching.